Легенда НХЛ. Він український козак. Він рекордсмен забитих голів за один сезон. Денніс Марук. Сильне ДНК українця аж до онуків.
Пане Деніс, я вітаю вас.
Hello.
Hello, Dennis. I welcome you.
Well, it's nice to chat to you guys. Okay. You hear me okay, though? I'm in the kitchen. All right. Sometimes it goes in and out, but I want to make sure. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Тобі каже, добре бути тут сьогодні.
Добре. Пане Стефан, я хочу подякувати вам, що ви нам будете допомагати перекладати.
Добре, дякую. He's just thanking me that I'm helping to translate.
Okay, great.
Пане Деніс, розкажіть, будь ласка, про своє українське коріння.
Dennis, tell us about your Ukrainian roots.
Okay. I quickly tried earlier, Stefan. Did you get my emails I sent you?
I did, but there was no attachments, and
Okay,
somehow something happened there.
My brother, okay. Yeah, he sent me a bunch. He had their birth certificates and stuff like that, so it was pretty neat. So, well, what happened was well, my dad they came from just outside in Ukraine. It's outside Kyiv, I guess. I forget what town it was, and then they migrated to out west in Cutworth. They were in a farm. My dad's mom and dad, Peter and Anna. It was called Anna. She was Anastasia, and they worked in a farm. They lived in a farm, and then I think it was like 1925. My dad was born in Dana, and my mom was born in Dana, Saskatchewan, in 1928. Okay, so they were out west, and then they came, and then of course they came to Toronto out east. That's where we had most of the kids. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I got 3 brothers and 4 sisters. So that's kind of the background. Ukraine. Of course, I didn't know a lot about it. I didn't get we did got a little bit of information from them, and it's all pretty much on the passports, right? That you didn't get. That's pretty much all we got from our parents, really. Yeah.
Пане Деніс, а з вашої родини хтось хокеєм ще займається?
Mr. Dennis, is there somebody in your family who is still playing hockey?
My grandkids.
Мої внуки.
Yeah. No, I still because of my foot, I haven't been able to, but I do a lot of charity hockey events and for Easter Seals and Special Olympics. And before my amputation on my toe, I usually play 50 to 60 games throughout the year, golf tournaments and all that, but mainly hockey charity events. So I still play. My grandkids, I have 2 in Minneapolis, Minnesota, are 8 and 11. They play hockey. My brothers do not play at all. They did when they were younger, but they do not play now. I'm the only one that really plays out of the 4 boys. I have 8. There's 8 kids in our family, 4 boys and 4 girls.
А чому пан Деніс обрав саме хокей?
Dennis, why did you choose hockey yourself?
Well, as any young lad growing up in Canada and in Toronto, watching hockey night in Canada and watching the Toronto Maple Leafs and all the other kids that you hung around with when you were young were playing hockey. So it was kind of the thing to do. If you didn't go play hockey with them, you're not going to hang out with them. So that's what I did. I started playing hockey at 8 years old, and and then just continued on right there. I started playing house league hockey and went right up to junior A hockey, being drafted. And after junior A, 3 years of junior A with the London Knights, I was drafted by California Golden Seals.
А чи батьки пана Деніса підтримували вибір займатися хокеєм?
Dennis, your parents supported you in your choice to play hockey?
Most definitely. I think the sad part about my parents were I always played on better teams. So my parents would drive me to the games, and my brothers had to get a ride. So that was kind of a negative thing. But, those things happen. I have to, honor my parents. It was their decision of doing that. And I got to, go play with some pretty good hockey players at a young age. And a lot of players that I played with with those teams growing up made it to the NHL. So that was kind of neat. So I got a lot of exposure playing on the Toronto Marlies organization growing up, and I got a lot of exposure. So that was kind of nice. So the parents were very supportive of everything. The neat thing about the Toronto Marlies organization is I got equipment given to me to wear and skates and all that. The only item I had to buy, my parents had to buy, was a hockey stick. If I broke my hockey stick, then all they had to do was buy a hockey stick. So they were pretty fortunate. They didn't have to spend a lot of money growing up because of where I played. So most definitely supportive. There's no doubt about it.
Як забити найбільшу кількість голів або стратегія успіху? Кучугура снігу замість воріт? Щоб забити гол, залізь у мізки воротарю і зроби навпаки. Грай на всі 100, навіть у неуспішній команді. І нарешті стань зіркою НХЛ.
Пан Деніс пам'ятає свій перший матч в НХЛ?
Dennis, do you remember your first NHL game?
Yeah, it was kind of funny you say that because I played against the Washington Capitals when I was with the London Knights Junior. They had their exhibition games. We played against them, so that was my kind of first introduction to the NHL, playing against them, and we lost 8-5, and I had 4 goals. So I figured I was due to play in the NHL. Yeah, I remember my first game. I more really remember it was in Oakland, but it was against Marcel Dion. It was an exhibition game, and we won 6-2, and I had 2 goals, and I was the first star. So I got to play against the famous Marcel Dion a lot in the game. So I guess I kind of knew that I had a good chance. The first game, of course, I didn't score. It was a good game, but then I do remember my first goal in the NHL. That was in November in Toronto at Maple Leaf Gardens, where my parents, all my brothers and sisters, and friends were there, and they watched it and they saw it. So that's a pretty big moment.
Пан Деніс грав в декількох командах в НХЛ. А які найяскравіші спогади він має? В якій команді найкраще йому було грати?
Dennis, you played for many NHL teams. Which team do you have any specific memories, and maybe which team was the best that you fit to play for? That sort of thing.
Well, that's a good question. Of course.
Добре питання, Віктор.
My first team, the California Golden Seals, those are the ones that drafted me to play in the NHL. So I have to thank them for giving me the chance and the opportunity to show the NHL that a guy at 5'8" can play in a big man's game. And that year I had 30 goals as a rookie my first year. So that was pretty good in 75, 76. But I would have to say the Washington Capitals, the year I had 50-goal season, and right after that I followed it up with a 60-goal season and had 2 All-Star games, one in Cleveland, one in Buffalo, and one in Washington. So those are pretty pretty neat things. But and I got to go to the White House, have lunch, and meet Ronald Reagan, President Reagan, when we had the All-Star game in Washington. So those I never won a Stanley Cup, so those are highlights for me. And being in the All-Star game where my parents could be there in Washington. It was 81, 82. I mean, 82, 83. So it was really a nice to have my parents there for the whole week and enjoy the festivities and all that because of what they did for me growing up. But sorry, I'll continue on because the team that I played for, the Minnesota North Stars, got traded there 83 to 89. They were the best team that I played on. We just couldn't beat the Oilers to win the Stanley Cup. But that was the best team there.
Пане Деніс, розкажіть, будь ласка, як вам вдалося забити 60 голів за один сезон і набрати 136 очок за один сезон?
How were you able to, Dennis, how were you able to score 50 goals in one season and 132 points in a season?
136, remember that.
136, sorry.
No, I think it's just always started when I started playing hockey in house league in Toronto. When I was 8 years old, I was the leading scorer in house league. And I think what I did was we couldn't afford a hockey net. My parents couldn't afford a hockey net. So when I was young at 8, 9, 10, around there, I would shoot pucks in a snowbank. We had on our street, we had one corner street light pole, and I would stay out. So I had to come in for curfew, go to bed, would shoot pucks, and I would pick them up the next day because they're frozen in the snowbanks. And so then because I could see them during the day after school. So that's what I did a lot. And even though there was no goalie or net, I worked on my shooting then at a very young age. And then when I got playing all the way up through, it just kind of kept coming and coming to the bigger level. When I got to junior and then to the NHL, I really picked, if you can explain this, picked the goalies on my team brains. Like I would ask them, what do you do when you see a good goal scorer coming down? And they would say, I'd give them this or give them that. And I would do the exact opposite. I would work at it in practice, do the exact opposite. So I learned a lot from our goalies that I played with throughout my career. And then I just kept going. The year I had 50 goals was a great year, but that next year, scoring those 60 goals and the 76 assists. But you know what? You don't do that unless you have good teammates, good line mates. And on the 60-goal season, I had Ryan Walter, who ended up playing in Washington and Montreal Canadiens. He was my left winger, and my right winger was Chris Valentine. He played 4 or 5 years in Washington, then went and played over in Germany, in Dusseldorf and all that. He was a great player over there and a coach over there. So you don't do those things, even though you have your own talent. You don't do those things with a little bit of help, a lot of help from your line mates. And I have to compliment them for what they did and help me get to that level. There's only been 22 hockey players ever to score 60 goals, as Connor McDavid just became the 22nd, right? Pasternak's probably going to do it too. But to be in that group of hockey players that have scored 60 goals, a 5'8" kid from Rexdale, Ontario, it's pretty neat being up there with Gretzky and Lemieux and Brett Hall and Pavel Bure and Ovechkin and all that. So I mean, it's pretty neat to be in that 60-goal club.
Несправедливо забутий рекордсмен.
Як виникла ідея в пана Денніса написати книгу?
Asking you, Dennis, you've ever thought of writing a book?
I have a book.
Oh, sorry, you do have a book.
I do have a book. It came out a couple of years ago, and you can go on Google it. Google Amazon and Google my name. It's called The Unforgettable Story of Hockey's Forgotten 60-Goal Man. I did it, and it's an interesting book. You'll really like it. It's easy to read.
Ага, то написав книгу, і ви можете гуглювати, або на Амазоні ви можете придбати, і назва The Unforgettable Story of Hockey's 60-Goal Man.
Forgotten 60-goal man.
Forgotten 60-goal of hockey's forgotten 60-goal man.
When they mention all the 60-goal scorers, my name is usually left out.
Aha.
А чому немає?
And he's asking, why isn't it there, Dennis?
Why don't they? Well, I guess because of where I played. All these other guys played on great hockey teams. I played on three defunct teams. So I didn't get a lot of exposure. And then California, Washington Capitals, we just made the playoffs one year. And the Washington Capitals were not a very good team. So when you do those things and with teams that are not very successful, you don't get recognized as much as you would if you get in the playoffs and you're counted on to score more goals and stuff like that, or have a chance to win the Stanley Cup or something. That's where you get recognized. That's the reason why I think the main reason why I don't get recognized with the other guys. Like there's another guy that doesn't get recognized is Bernie Nichols. Remember Bernie Nichols? Him and I are the two guys that don't really get, because we did it one year and we didn't make the play. We didn't win Stanley Cup. And even though we had a good year, things just get dropped aside when they talk about Gretzky and Brett Hall and Pavel, all these other guys that had great careers. So that's the way it is. So that was kind of the title of the book, that awareness of things that happened in the NHL, that it's not all peaches and cream. There you go.
Але це ж несправедливо.
That's unfortunate. He said that's unfortunate.
Well, thank you. Yeah, well, I've had a lot of people say that. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Дякую.
Фу Манчжу? Ні. Це вуса українського козака.
Пане Деніс, у вас були вуса дуже гарні, дуже такі видні. Вам якось дали назву цим вусам. Що це за історія така цікава? Розкажіть, будь ласка.
I think he's asking, did you have some geese? Vusa, your mustache.
Yeah. We call it Fu Manchu. Yeah.
Fu Manchu він каже.
You'll see a lot of it in the pictures. If you Google my name and that, you'll see a lot of Fu Manchu pictures. Yes. I don't have it now. I got this right now. I'm getting older, you see. It's got a little gray, right? But I still got the hair. But yeah, just the goatee right now. They all want me to go back to the Fu. Everybody wants me to grow it back, shave this, and get the Fu back. Yeah.
Я б сказав би, що це козацькі вуса, як у козака, українського козака.
He says that you're like a Ukrainian Cossack with that Fu Manchu.
That what they call it? Okay, good, perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Добре, він каже.
Негайно оберіть Денніса Марука до зали слави зірок НХЛ.
Пане Деніс, у вас багато індивідуальних нагород в хокеї. Розкажіть про них, будь ласка.
Dennis, have you had any additional awards from hockey throughout your career? Can you speak to any of those?
No, I probably started in junior with the London Knights at the Ontario Hockey League. I was the Rookie of the Year, which is a big thing, and also the Red Tilson Award in my third year, my last year junior, which was the most valuable player in the Ontario Hockey League. When I got to the NHL, I had too much competition as a centerman to win any awards. I think Gretzky and Trottier and all them won the awards that I had to play against. I think Brian Trottier won everything except a Grammy Award. So in my position, it was very hard, even though I didn't quit. I kept pushing forward. My rookie year, I was close to being rookie of the year, but I didn't get a lot of exposure because I was in California instead of being in Long Island and New York or Toronto or whatever. But it didn't discourage me. I got, as I said earlier, 2 All-Star games. I got to play in World Championships with Team Canada for many, many years, 4 or 5 years. So I got to play against the greatest hockey players in the world from all over different countries. So I was really special. I did win a Stanley Cup, but I would say I won a couple bronze. I did win a couple bronze medals in the World Championships with Team Canada, playing for my country. So those are probably the awards that I have. But I don't take anything back what I did. I just had a wonderful career and played 14 years.
Пане Деніс, вас було обрано до Зали слави українського спорту в США. Розкажіть про це, будь ласка, теж.
You were elected to Ukrainian sport in the USA.
Yes, Ukrainian sport. I don't know what for the sport of hockey. I was inducted into the they have Hall of Fame there in Philadelphia. So that was kind of nice. I had another event I couldn't attend. My older brother went to attend, and he had a real good time. But that's that's pretty neat. And also, I have in Toronto. I'm not on the Hockey Hall of Fame, and people keep telling me I should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. I also in Etobicoke, where I live, they have a Etobicoke Hall of Fame. I'm in that, and then also London has a hockey Hall of Fame there, the London Knights Hockey Hall of Fame there. I'm in there too. So, except the NHL, maybe one day before I go underground and put me in there.
Я бажаю пану Денісу, щоб його обрали до Зали слави зірок НХЛ.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that you're not in the Hall of Fame for the NHL, and he hopes that would be able to happen.
Well, thank you. There's a lot of great hockey players in there, and there's a lot of great hockey players that are not in there that should be in there. So, one day, I certainly don't lose any sleep over it, but it would be a great honor to be involved with those people, and especially being a Ukrainian and a bunch of other Ukrainians that are in there, as I believe, Mr. Gretzky and Bernie Federico and a few of those guys. So that would be an honor to be involved with that.
Так, він дякує вам за то, і він каже, що є багато гравців, які не там, і є багато, що є, і навіть є багато, яких має українського походження, так як Грецький і Федерко.
Пане Деніс, щиро дякую вам за інтерв'ю.
Dennis, thank you very much for the interview.
Oh, listen, any time. And Stefan, if he wants, I think a good interview you want, it would be Mike Kruzelinsky. I see Mike tomorrow night.
Okay, give him
your number.
Yeah, give Mike my number, and we can arrange something.
Yeah, he's perfect because he speaks the language, and he's won 4 Stanley Cups. And a lot of stories. So that'd be very good. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? You can remind Mike that I met him at both of the golf tournaments as well, because he was there last year.
Right. Yeah.
But that would be great. I know Pan Oleksii would really appreciate that.
That would be good. Yeah, it'd be really good. Yeah, too. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Pleasure.
Yeah.
Дякуємо вам, пане Стефан, що допомагали перекладати.
Будь ласка. He's thanking me for helping in the translation. I said, no problem, and take care, everybody.
Thank you. Okay, great. Okay, we'll be in touch.
До побачення, привіт з України передаємо.
Okay, goodbye, and give a welcome, hello from everybody from Ukraine.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Bye-bye. Stay safe.
Yeah, you too.